This ain't no game, this that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just that podcast. We on the show, spread fake news. We get started podcast. West, Joey, Sam, Sean, Dalton. And you know that boy hit you. He said he wants small fry. Tell him they better make him bang. Yeah, you already know what we be on.
You bet. Here he goes. This place is gone.
If we said it instead of this song, shouldn't have seen you set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
Straight steal of home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are...
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Rally House Studios. This is welcome to this week's episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. That's my notes, not y'all's. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman, here with my co-hosts for the evening. Wait a minute, the camera is not right. Where is their camera? Joey's camera was right, but theirs was not. There we go. Y'all don't have to be so close. This isn't the love connection. But as you can tell, our regular co-host, he is not Triple H, but he is our celibate assassin. He's the one and only Sean Barber.
How's it going?
And across from him, he is the self-proclaimed tribal chief.
No, just acknowledge me.
No, y'all are going to be fired from my show if you keep acknowledging the wrong one. It's my big little brother, Joe Wallman.
Acknowledge me again.
Okay, well, all y'all, everybody can take off your CSZ gear and shove it up your butt for all I care. Last but not least, because we once again did not have our women's beat writer and football beat writer, and he was over watching SmackDown with the crew. Thanks for that. It's our buddy Wes, and since we already have Wes in the intro, we run about 3 deep on Wes's here. Pause. It's our guy Wes Brocky. Wes, what's good, man?
What's up, man? What's up, everybody?
Okay, we need you to speak into the microphone. Don't be afraid of it. It's not like it's.
Why is this cord not?
Because it's not long enough.
Oh.
Giggity. We don't normally
It
have
was
dealt
long
that
enough
type
once.
of thing. Well,
There you go. Pull it
yes.
closer. Pull the mic in.
Don't be. I understand why you might be afraid of females. That's a female connection because your wife is a brute, the triple V. But you don't have to be afraid of the cords. We're gonna have a good time tonight, even though we're celebrating some somber things here. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however, send us your questions on social media. Check on the graphic below to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how to help support us monetarily. Not only do we have YouTube subscriptions, I misspelled it. I feel like his wife at the moment. We also have the chat gifts. And also, Sean, we did something cool earlier. We have now, if you subscribe to us on YouTube to one of the paid tiers, we supply you with a phone number where you can actually call into the show. Now, we'll give that to you. We'll email it to you once you subscribe, and we see that shmoney's coming in. But and then
you wanted to remind you of somebody that was subscribed.
Absolutely, as I was about to transition into Sean, it's a different transition.
Just want to make sure I didn't forget.
Well, shout out our guy Mike Singleton. Every episode, he sends us a Venmo for X amount of dollars. And I only get the notification after the show. So I know it probably seems like I'm kind of a douche-canoosh for never shouting him out, but I forget. Mike, we appreciate you every single week, every single cent, every single dollar. Much love to you. But again, we got the chat gifts you can send it. The most effective way to do that, and we've got the ticker going at the bottom. We're really pushing this because Sean is going to write a story later this week where he's going to put all your tweets into a story where you're showing Pat Kelsey and the team love, kind of not really biting off, but kind of piggybacking on what Dana Brown and the crew, by the way, not a better group of support staff in the country. Dana's been phenomenal all year. She was if Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but she helped Zach out last year. And now she's the main cheese.
Mm-hmm.
She's turn the fan on, but not too high because I don't want to be on in 30 seconds in.
You will. Anyway.
I will anyway. But thanks for we were in kind of a pickle. I was heading on my way to Charlotte. I told y'all this last week, but I was on my way to Charlotte last week to cover the not that I see that my credentials hanging up behind me. Not purposefully, probably purposefully. But and Jeff Nunn was supposed to go down and shoot the game. Not like bang bang, but like with the camera. And he had something come up. He couldn't go at the last minute. So I was like, man, who do I know that might be able to take off and go down with me? I asked every Wes I knew. And the only one that could come through for me was our guy, Wes Brown, who did a phenomenal job. Tweet engagement during the games was up 20,000%, mostly because whenever you tweet more than once, it's already doubles the tweet engagement. But he did a great job. But we didn't have a credential for Wes Brown. So on my way down, I was like, Dana, I know you're probably swamped. I know you're busy trying to get this thing together for the basketball team, but can you please switch out the credentials? And she was like, what's the new guy's name? I was like, oh, I was hoping for a little bit. Well, not hoping, but I was expecting a little bit more pushback. I was like, his name's Wes Brown. He's never covered anything for us before, just does our podcast. Okay, it'll be at. So I mean, she just took care of it. It's phenomenal. Can't say enough good things about her, but the most effective, I don't know how I even got onto that, but the most effective way.
Write the stories.
Yeah. So the ticker at the bottom, we got that down there. Make sure we just tweeted something out about 20, 30 minutes ago. Reply to that. We're going to write a story up, send it to Coach Kelsey and the team, send it to Peyton, all the connects I have, and we'll get it in front of their face and hopefully get a response from you for you within the next couple of weeks. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and pull that ticker off so I can get to my next point, which is that's how you can help support us monetarily. There's the Cash App, the Venmo, the PayPal, Zelle. We don't have a CSZ Zelle, but if you'd rather do Zelle, which there's no fees taken out, DM me. I'll shoot you my phone number. We can do it that way. That's the easiest way. But we're not here to beg for money. No. Or how did Kofi used to say it? No. We're here to have a good time.
Yes, boy.
And no, we're not.
Oh, sorry. Just one.
That's fine. Hit that thumbs up button while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you're following us or watching us on YouTube if you can. It'll help us out more. And shout out to our sponsors, Fitness Market, 4 Pegs, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters, Cherry Pick and Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, and the Rally House. Again, we've got the new phone call option for the group DM members or paid YouTube subscribers only. Guys, I went segment one, I normally put my pregame story or my postgame story in here. I put very little in there. Chucky Hepburn scored 22 points. Teddy Ballgame added 21. And Javon added his stellar 13 and his usual 13 and 8. His Cards couldn't recoup from a late first half run to fall 89-75. Stop looking at my notes. Wes, I know you probably can't read half of them, but still. That day, even though it was a bad, let's not sugarcoat it, it was not a good loss. It didn't feel good. We were sitting in a literal Kohler toilet bowl. If y'all don't know what a Kohler toilet bowl is, Google Kohler toilet bowl and Google Rupp Arena and do a side-by-side. Actually, should I do that right now?
No.
No?
We don't give them any cred.
Fair enough. We got there, me and Steve and Teresa. Actually, Steve showed up for once, so shout out to him. And Elijah, we went down there and got there in time for the team send-off. If you watch the video, you see me push everybody else out of the way to make sure I got some camera time. And got there to the hotel, man, and there were thousands of people in that room. We just happened to be one of the first people in there. Josh Hurd was there. All of your media people were there. The police chief of Louisville was there, who had put a really funny tweet. And actually, there was audio of it. I don't have that audio.
It was
a video.
Yeah.
I wish I had that in advance. We could have played it. But, man, it was a perfect setup at a horrible venue. Again, looks like a literal Kohler toilet. Then you get into the game. We weren't switching off very well. They couldn't. Here's how I explained it to people. We ran into a team that played like us. They lived by the three. They were hitting. We just weren't hitting. This was like an exact mirror image of our games from earlier in the season, where we were hitting everything the other team wasn't. At the end of the game, Pat Kelsey got teed up, and then the guy asked, "Well, why'd you get teed up?" He's like, "Well, I got frustrated and said something I shouldn't have said. Got teed up." That was really how you could even think of being funny in a time where you worked all year just to go out quick. Sean knows a little bit about that, but
No, I don't.
no, that's true. Heartbroken for the guys, even if
maybe one day.
Heartbroken for the guys, even if they are paid now. And my last thing, and I'm gonna get to y'all here in a second, but I was I shouldn't be very, very disappointed in the home team hospitality. There were literally 500 Smurf turds there in the arena, starting CA bleep bleep chants the whole
PISS, right?
Yeah, PIS. Just people asked him like, why are you even here? Well, this one guy said, I crap you not. Well, we were supposed to go to Florida for spring break, but we spent all that money to fly here from New York so we could sit in the Mecca and watch Louisville fail in the first round. And listen, one thing that I've learned this week, and maybe it's just from maybe it's just personal experience. Lexington, Kentucky fans are different than Louisville, Kentucky fans. When I was there, it was not like, first off, they didn't have as many teeth as our fans here in Louisville do that cheer for the other team. They couldn't speak hardly. They were all related 4 times. But when I got home and started telling Kentucky fan friends of mine how they were acting down there, they're like, I'm sorry, that's so disrespectful. Why would you do that? That's stupid. Why didn't the one said, why didn't they just spend their money to go travel to watch them play their own NCAA tournament game? Which I had to explain to them, well, they're not that intelligent. So, guys, Sean, we'll start off with you, which I know is new for you, but we're gonna let you go first. Pause. Joe, you get a sloppy seconds, and Wes is dirty thirds. I'm just kidding. What was your overall? I know you didn't watch much of the game. A lot of people didn't get to watch the game because they had to work. Not everybody has bosses that are as nice as mine.
I heard your boss is a jerk.
No, I am my own boss, and he's pretty awesome.
But I said what I said.
Tell him when he's telling lies. But what was after hearing what happened and kind of seeing everything? What was your thoughts of the game? What could we have done better? And first, before you answer that, we've all said this. Me, you, Joey, and even Sam, the 2 times he was here during the season, talking about the next man mentality and how we always had somebody to come in and step up, but by the end of the season, we ran out of guys to step up. We had in the Duke game and in this game, we had 2 guys that absolutely showed out, and everybody else was pretty much gassed out. So kind of give us your thoughts while I look at this other stuff real quick.
That was the main takeaway from what I saw of highlights and stuff afterwards was the guys just they were gassed, and it wasn't just physically, it was mentally. You saw a lot of some of the highlights I saw were more defensive breakdowns because of miscommunication, and kind of they just looked out of sorts offensively. They just couldn't hit shots, and a lot of that can be attributed to their legs are just not there at this point in the season. Not to mention you're missing basically your best shooter. I know we played some, but I know we got hurt again, Rain Smith. And also, let's give some credit to Creighton. Creighton's pretty darn good. That center is exactly what they said it was going to be, but in part of the reason why the guard, not the Ashworth, I believe, he did well, but it was the other guard, I believe Neal, from what I saw on the stats at least.
He put it away.
Yeah.
Ashworth helped build it, and then
Yeah, and then my understanding from what I could see, like I tried to follow a little bit when I could, was that he was hitting some tough shots. Like we were playing actually some good defense, and he hit a last second shot. And at the end of the shot clock, it's like, what do you do? How do you stop that? You can't stop that. He's throwing up shots and they're going in. It was disappointing, but it was understandable. This is a loss that was understandable compared to like losses in the past. I'm just looking forward to the future, and I really do appreciate what those guys gave. Though they gave everything they had.
Joey?
I'll echo most of the same sentiments. You know, they just from about the start of the second half, maybe about 5 minutes into the second half of the Duke game, they were on E. And even with the 4 days rest, I don't think it helped. It was just playing 30-something games with 7 or 8 dudes. Chucky and Fett were probably averaging 36, 37 minutes a game. Hadley probably about 35, 36. I mean, pretty close to that. The only really interchangeable parts were, Rain played a lot, but, you'd have Booby or
Booby.
Frank come in every once in a while, or when Noah came back, at one point, in the season when Noah was hurt, we had 7 guys. Like, so they just ran out of gas. If we had a couple more bodies that we could have put in, throughout the end of the season, save some legs, I think it'd have been a different story. But I feel bad for them because, and look, obviously this is the last time I'm going to say it because it's the season. But
And then last,
Sorry, just queuing this up.
I hear voices. We shouldn't have been playing Creighton. We shouldn't have been playing a team of that caliber in the first round. They shouldn't have been a 9 seed.
No.
We shouldn't have been an 8 seed.
No.
We should have been playing a Vanderbilt. And look, we might have drawn, if we'd have got the seed that we should have, we might have drawn McNeese. And it may still have been a loss. But the fact that we had to play a team that finished second in the Big East, which was probably the 3rd best conference in the country, I'd argue that they were the 2nd best.
Yeah.
I would argue they were the 2nd best. So they finished second in the regular season, second in the tournament to St. John's, and they got a 9. And again, we did what we did and got an 8. We shouldn't have been playing them. So that's why I feel the most bad for the team, the guys on the team, because they shouldn't have had to play that type of game first round.
Absolutely not. Let's go to the footage real quick of our police chief with a breaking story the day before. Was it the day before, Sean?
I think it was the morning of.
It might have been. Let's go live to the police chief. Well, pre-tape, but whatever.
Pre-tape live.
All right, chief.
and then lastly, I want to bring attention to an issue that's come up recently. We have another issue with a potential wanted person. And I want to say that the deal here is that we all work hard for what we have. And when you earn something, you expect that you will be rewarded in kind for your hard work and dedication. In this situation here, we have our robbery and fraud unit that needs to work on this. We need your help. There's a guy out of North Carolina. I think his name is Bubba. We haven't confirmed that yet. But he has caused issues in our community, and we need to make sure that justice is served. The fact that U of L got an 8 seed is a tragedy, and it's an affront to the hard work that the University of Louisville basketball team put in. I would never say that somebody is deserving of anything, because I think the point where you think you're deserving of something, you stop working to earn it. But they earned their right into the tournament, and I'll be there cheering on Coach Kelsey and the guys, and hopefully they prove that their worth in the tournament. The good thing is they have a chance to prove themselves still, and hopefully we see them in San Antonio in a couple of weeks. So
that was really awesome. Appreciate. And another thing I want, because Wes, you're a first timer. They can only see you looking at the TV. Stop looking at the TV. Look at the camera. Talking to the microphone, looking at the camera. That goes to Sean, who's currently looking at dudeswithboobs.com, and everybody.
Chicks with sticks.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't say the other one.
I know. You with us, John? Just
Yeah,
kidding.
He's reading about George Foreman.
I couldn't believe it.
He just heard about it.
Couldn't. Would you say you believed it or that it was?
Now, yeah.
Okay,
I
now.
know it's true. It's nothing believable.
So what's kind of from a fan, because you're not media, you're not even a podcaster. You're just here hanging out with the boys. Kind of give us your thoughts of the game yesterday and how because a lot of people are talking about how they felt after the game, about how the bad feelings still lingering on, or they were just happy about the season as a whole. Kind of give us your thought. I'm going to go ahead and put some of the stuff from the chat line up to get caught up. So let us know from your standpoint.
I have to piggyback on what these guys basically said. I think they put a lot of heart and soul into the ACC tournament. I think they really wanted to win that game. They had 2 hard games that they played. I thought they poured everything in. Like you said, a lot of guys are playing a lot of minutes. You're shorthanded. A lot of that's on their backs. They're carrying a lot of that. So I felt like, those two games played a major role going into the NCAA tournament. And then you get the draw you get, and you got Toronto play a Creighton team, which is, very good and similar to what we play. And you already know that that's just going to be, you're going to have to play the same way you played the ACC tournament. And, it was just a whole lot on those guys this year. And I think that they did the best they could. Hats off to those. I think they played well. I mean, the game didn't come out like we wanted it to, but, I think that they really pushed themselves to try to bring everything they could to the city and to the fan base and to revive the Ville, which is what they basically did, and they just fell short.
Absolutely. Terry Jones, what's good? JB, what's good? Robbie, this is live. How West Keys? What about our ladies? Well, we'll get to them in a minute.
He meant the police chief thing.
Oh, okay.
We knew it wasn't live.
JB says you were on the video I took. I saw that. Maybe been doing his thing. Marcus isn't even live right now, so I don't know what you mean. The Mecca is laughable. They're not UCLA. Absolutely. Our guy Chad Brocky was at the game, and the hate there is real with those people. It was peeing my brother off. So he started talking about how much of a crap hole Rupp Arena was, and they got mad. Well, it's true. That's literally the worst arena I've ever been in my entire life, and I went to Doss for 4 years. Love them. Just, we don't have a problem. You do. Okay. Ladies play well. Oh, Robbie must be sipping and commenting at the same time again. I love Robbie. So let's get into a little bit of a general talk. I want everybody's opinions on this. PK from the very beginning was a firecracker. You could tell that even if things weren't going to turn out the way he was saying, he believed that they would turn out the way, and they actually did. I mean, I remember his first day, his introductory press conference. He come in, he was walking across the street, ran into a family member there on Floyd Street. It was amazing. A lot of people are asking, does he still deserve to be in the National Coach of the Year award conversation? I believe he does. I think it definitely hurts that he lost 2 in a row here, but it should be considered on the body of the regular season. And for that, I mean, my goodness, 18 conference wins. I don't even know that we've ever won 18 games in conference before. What a heck! And in the ACC, what a great job. Sean, really quickly, do you believe he still deserves to be in the conversation? And do you think he should win? People aren't going to hate you for saying no or however.
Yes and yes, because he dealt with more injuries than anybody. Any other team or coach, nobody dealt with the injuries he had to at the times that he had to. I mean, Rain Smith, prime example. Prime example right there. Noah Waterman before that, Kadir Traore, Corin Johnson, Kason Pryor. I mean, look at that.
Who's Kason?
It's
Kayshawn?
Joey's just messing with you. And I said really quick, Joey, what about you? Do you think he still deserves to be in the conversation?
I think he deserves to be in the conversation. What are you doing?
This is live, pal. I'm going to pass gas right in your face.
Still deserves to be in the conversation, but I do not think that he should, like, at this point, be a finalist. They're supposed to whittle it down to what, like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And that's not his fault. I mean, sometimes it's, results take you out, and I just think a first round exit takes you out. I mean, it is what it is. It's circumstances that were spoke about, injuries, whatever. I think it takes him out because I think there's only 2 or 3 guys that were going to win it anyway. Just like the seeds seem to have been set 3 weeks ago.
Longer than that. My God,
Or
what
so.
if we would have lost our opening round game in the ACC tournament? Would we have been a bubble team?
We'd have been in the playing game.
It'd been ridiculous.
We might have had a better chance then.
We might have.
But I think there's only 2 or 3 coaches that had a chance at it anyway. So,
Wes, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think you said yes. I mean, you take a team that was at rock bottom, you get people out of the portal, and you just basically rebuild, and see what you got. And who would have thought we would have made the run that we had? Because I remember throughout the year, you talked on the podcast, how many wins would we get? A lot of people didn't think we were going to get 27 wins.
No, I think I said 23 was my highest at one point. West Keys thought we were going 30-0.
I think I said 21 or 22, but
yeah.
I thought that our legs would give out sooner than they did.
Absolutely. So the fans have treated him pretty well throughout the season, and I'm of sound mind. We won more games this year than we've won the last 3 seasons combined. So that should get him a little bit of cachet, if you will, Sean. You've got to continue to treat him that way, even if we have a subpar season. Which I'll tell you in a little bit why we're not going to have a subpar season. But even if we did, we should not stay in the same mind frame as everybody likes to be. Oh my gosh, we didn't win 40 games this year, we need to fire the coach. How much time does this buy, in your opinion? How many seasons does this first season buy him before he deserves to be?
I wish I could go first on this one.
Raked over the coals. Joey, you go first.
Life.
Okay, Sean.
He deserves a long time. I can't put a number on it.
As long as he wants.
Yeah, because what he
So
did,
if he wins 10 games the next 3 years, he should be able to just stay here till. That's my like. What's the?
He's not going to.
No, he's not.
when you put it that way,
got a couple reasons.
3 years.
You would have.
He would still have had more wins than somebody else did after
That's
their
true.
3 years.
That's true.
But
we're a perennial 20-win team now again.
Which is how we always should be. For me, like with Coach, and you know what, I gave him a lot of crap before the season started. I was like, we cannot call you PK. We have a PK. Preston, I'm sorry. You're no longer the PK around here. We love you. You're welcome to come back on the show anytime and verbally joust with me. I apologize. This is the PK. I mean, I love how, first off, we're the same age. He decided to be born the same year as me. So I take that as I take that very flattering. Also, he's decided to copy my glasses. I love that. I've worn these style glasses for at least 7-8 years now, maybe longer.
Never seen them.
I had them every year for the last decade. To me, when I think about what coaches in the past, I'm going to say this, and everybody's going to go absolutely ape spit. But Coach Kelsey, to me, he's got all of the Denny Crum fundamentals, adjustments, and demeanors. But he's got Rick's fire in his mind for basketball, his basketball acumen, his basketball IQ. He's kind of like, to me, if Denny Crum and Rick Pitino had a in vitro test tube baby, it would be Pat Kelsey. Like, Pat Kelsey is back. He got in that introductory press conference. We all thought, oh, of course he's a son of a car salesman. He just made me think, we're going to win 25 games, get in the NCAA tournament. Okay, we'll see. And then after the first couple months, it was like, oh, crap. We were like 5-5, 6-5, whatever. And it's like, well, we bought what he was selling at the beginning. Let's see. And then it was double-digit game win streak, lost one half of a game. Another double-digit win streak, lost half of a game. We still should have beat Duke, man, even though they had those two absolute monsters on their team in the middle. We still, we beat them in the first half. That was what, like, you could not have played a better half of basketball against. And I know that Pooper Flag was not playing for him that game, and it could have made it a lot differently. But that was one of the most perfect halves of basketball from being there in person. And I know, we know you were in person. We saw you on the TV in the front row of the whole game. Okay, that's not why I said that. I was, but that's not why I said it. But being there and covering it, my mother-in-law was like, I texted Teresa, like, why does he look so miserable? Well, we're not allowed to cheer on the sidelines. We had to sit there, and I was writing my story, my recap the entire time the game was going on, and me and associate, I will leave unnamed because I don't want to get him in trouble. Where even though if people watch the game, they know who's next to me, giving each other dap under the table, and it was just like every time we were getting excited, it was like yes, pop. So who does bring this train back on the tracks because I took it off? Who does he remind you of, Sean? Does he remind you of Rick? Does he remind you of Mac? Does he remind you of Crumb? D, all of the above?
He reminds me a little more of Rick because he's good with the media, right? Like Denny Crum was good with the media, but he didn't really see
You think Rick was good with the media? Do you not remember him chastising Tim Sullivan, which he deserves to be chastised?
Well, that's a different story. Take Tim out of the question.
At all, well, I wish I could, but for some reason, unlike just like Matt Hardy, this guy will never go away. We just need to introduce him to one of our friends and surely take care of him soon. But Sean, go ahead. I'm sorry, and I'm going to get back to the chat line so you all can read some of the.
Yeah, he reminds me of Rick more because, like I said, Denny was good with the media, but didn't really seek it out. Where Mac, he was very standoffish with the media, very, very standoffish.
I tell no lies. Didn't Wes Keys say that we were going to go 30-0 this year? Just say yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember, so I'll say yes.
Come on.
Wishy-washy.
Come on, Switzerland.
Wishy-washy. Our guy Will Flowers.
You didn't just hear him say this.
Our guy Will Flowers, who sent me the video on Will needs to be like our producer because Sean, you do a piss poor job of being the producer in studio. He needs to send us.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we are. Well, no, you're right. Actually, we're halfway through, and Sean hasn't even hit record yet. Says everything is relative with the booster support. And the results are we expect that it's a life contract, but if booster support disappears, the seat can get hot really quick. Reste says good combo. So that's who he reminds me of. Joey, either do you kind of lean either way, or are you gonna?
I don't think he reminds me at all like Denny Crum. I think he is more of a mix. He has more fire, like Mac. I think like Mac had some of that, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like
boring.
No.
Mac was the most boring coach we've ever had in any sport.
Stuff he kind of gave you that like defiance. Mm-hmm. Like I don't really care. This is my team. I don't really care what you think.
You're talking about that one moment where he's talking in silent reporting.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I'm just saying if I had to compare him or liken him to anybody, probably more of Pitino, but I just think he's unique. I don't know that he's really much of either. He doesn't wear suits, like distinguished like Pitino was,
But a lot of the coaches in college basketball don't wear suits anymore.
Well, I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't know who I would.
The question was which one of those coaches, and you said
Paul Heyman.
Okay, fair enough. Wes, what about you?
I say he's got, to me, he reminds me a little bit of Ricky P, and I'd say a little bit aside of Chris Mack, but he's more Rick Pitino to me. He's got the fire, the desire. I mean, he's in the huddles. He's coaching.
Is he trying to rhyme over it? He's got the fire and the desire. And if you don't think I'm telling the truth, then you can call me a
liar.
No.
He definitely reminds me of that a whole lot. Just the way he coaches. I mean, he's an X&O's guy, and he gets his players in the right spot and position to be successful. So
y'all have got to look at the camera. You're looking at the ground. Joey's looking at the TV. They can't see none of y'all because. So, but no, to me, he's got he's hands on like Crum was. He's kind like Crum was. He makes adjustments. Rick didn't make adjustments very well, especially not at halftime. He's got
he took the guy that hit 4 threes in a row out of the game. He adjusted.
Yeah. So, but Rick was, to me, Coach Mack was about as interesting as a sit on a frog's butt. Like I've seen paint. Like he did 2 things that were really outgoing and outside the box. The one, hey, Coach Cal, you know what a play is. Like that was funny, but that's the only time I've seen any kind of good personality from him. Because whenever I was there at practice, most of the time he was in the office. He shut himself in the office. Didn't see any of that behind the scenes. But yeah, he could be a character at times. But when I think of him, I think Sheldon Cooper, Big Bang Theory.
Sarcastic.
Yeah. So let's run down some of the, before we hit halftime, let's run down some of the accomplishments. 27 wins, bless you. Most since 2015. 18 wins in the ACC. Highest finish since becoming a member. Most conference wins ever, as Will said. It broke the 16 that we had in 2019, did he say?
Yeah, I'm not sure we had 20 conference games ever before either to have the opportunity to get to 18. But
let's see. ACC tournament runner-up, first time ever. Number 10 in the AP poll, highest since 2017. First NCAA tournament since 2019. Let's switch gears and Sean, who are you looking at?
What are you talking about?
I'm looking at the camera. Joey's still looking at the TV screen.
I was looking down because I was yawning.
Wes is just smiling. He's just glad to be here. And Sean looks like he's sleeping with his eyes open.
Maybe he is.
Let's go to roster management before we head to halftime. Which guys, now we know who can come. Like you were supposed to have this already. You know who's eligible to come back and who's not coming back. Who do we want to come back? Because in this day and age, we turn in with them being paid players. We go from, oh man, we want you back to do we think we can get better? Do we think we can purchase better? So who absolutely do we need? And let's not, again, we need to get to halftime here in a second. We're already 41 minutes in. Give me 3 names of guys that you want to come back and then tell me why. Tell me. Never mind. We can't do that. We'll get copywritten.
Okay, Pryor.
Why?
Because when he's on, he's a matchup nightmare. Because he can take it on the perimeter, drive to the basket. He can also hit the 3, although I know early in the season he wasn't hitting like I think they thought he would.
Well, neither were you.
But I just think, and not just that, I like the way he plays. He's kind of the guy that if you're playing against him, you hate him. But if he's on your team, you're like, that's my guy.
Intensity.
Yes. He's
I said real quick, Sean. Who else?
Okay. Let's see here.
Okay.
Okay.
I get to it.
Sorry, Daddy. Sorry, Big Daddy.
I did.
Did you just say Shitticus?
Why is that playing again? Did you press it more than once?
You pressed the button twice.
Not me.
He's got it on repeat.
Oh my God, we're not playing that again. Sean, for the love of God. Sean, turn the daggone.
Hit the button.
I have no idea what he's done. It's playing continuously. It is on a loop. It's not going to stop for the rest of the show. We're not even going to be able to play the outro music, Sean. What in God's name did you do? Look, let's see if that stops it. Did it? All right. Unassign his. Hold on. Sorry, guys. We're doing tech support during. Did you see it where it says loop? Hit one time or whatever it says. Hit the one. There you go. Jesus Christ. All right. Let's turn that back up.
Oh, God.
All right. Go ahead, Sean.
Did you just say Shiticus?
All right. Had to make sure it was fixed now. All right. So we got Kaysen. Or as Joey likes to call him, Skeet Davidson. Who's number 2?
Skim Shady.
Hadley. Because he's like the Dwayne Sutton.
No,
I don't disagree.
And then I still want Corin Johnson back because I still want to see what he could bring to the table. I liked what I saw in the scrimmages, and you're going to need somebody to back up Brown because I think Brown's starting. I think Corin could also move over to the 2. He can play the 2. So those are the 3 guys that I want back.
Allie Jack says young Billy Donovan vibe. Will Flower said he would have come to Charlotte with me. Well, I mean, you should have just asked. Jeremy Lucas says definitely. Wes Keys says Mac was blander than unseasoned. I would say Mac was blander than Rick Bozich's grill. Shout out to Rick. Red State says PK is standalone. He surpassed Crumb's first year record, and it took Patino 10 years to win Conference USA. Fair enough. Big East 09. Okay. H-Man says, did Pat Kelsey get coached? No, he didn't yet. We don't know. Jack said, Red, did the Final Four his first year. He inherited a great team. Yeah, for sure. Imagine the Big East and the ACC in New York at the same time. That would have been electric. H-Man's got a question for us. How far do you all think Louisville women will make it in the tournament? Do you think they will beat Halle Van Liath? Wait a minute. Is this Leanna? I think this may be Leanna Brocky.
No, I think it's H-Man stands for Higgy Man.
No, Grace. I think Gracie is tweeting from under the table. Gracie. Yeah, I'll talk about regular season wins. But and you all give us your 3 on the chat line that you want to bring. Even though it's going to be more than 3, give us your 3. Joey, what about you?
I'm definitely going to say Kaysen because, again, his intensity he brings. You know, all it takes is for him to make one dunk or one block or one something, and he gets fired up, and it fires his team up, fires the crowd up, fires the fans up. I want to see year 2 Kenai Roos. Big, athletic. He'll get stronger in the off season. And again, this is no shade to anybody else, obviously. I'm going to go. I always want to say Wiz Khalifa, Ali, right? Ali Khalifa. Seeing the body transformation that the strength coach has made with him, I think he's going to be a beast, man. We're going to be beefy down low next year because I think there's another year to start really, putting some more muscle on James Scott, which I didn't add him because I think it's kind of probably, just speaks for itself. He's going to be back.
Well, I mean, same thing with Khalifa. But Khalifa had that Ellis Miles body. Like Joey's right. Almost the Ellis Miles-esque. And we're going to try to have Ellis on the show here.
First year Nazi. He was 350 pounds. And he dropped like 80 pounds.
Yeah, Nazi sucks, though. So let's not bring him up.
But he was a Coach P guy, and he gave him ultimatum. Kind of like Coach P gave Ellis,
the first time I met Nazi, he wouldn't let me play pickup ball with him because I didn't play in college. But we grew to love each other, and I undercut him once, so he's let me play.
I want them all back.
Absolutely.
Anybody that wants to come back, I want back. We're just filling the spots.
For me, I'm going to go Kenai. And my mind's changed. Y'all know if y'all listen to the show, I've kind of had the thought process Kenai was gone. Kenai didn't sound gone. And I'll have some talks with his people over the next couple of weeks and kind of get it. But as far as first reaction off of his comments, he was offended that we lost, and he wants to make that right, and I think he will.
So raw.
But as far as your question about the Louisville women, they could be. They're so young. Let's put it this way. We're going to talk about them, and let's leave that for later on in the show. Ruth has a huge upside. I'm excited for his future. H-Man would bring back Pryor, Edwards can't come back. Rain Smith can't come back. H-Man would bring back the whole team, and I don't blame him. Our guy Paul at Mossy Oak Properties, the sponsor of the text line, until
H-Man's Hayden Redmond.
Is it?
So you're covering it up with the cursor.
Oh, okay. Until his next check clears anyway, he is the sponsor of the. I'm just kidding. Red State says Allie, Corn, Pryor, Hadley. Allie Jack says Scott, Hadley, Ruth. No, I absolutely would bring everybody back that wants to come back. I just want to know who's everybody's like must-haves were. Allie can pass and shoot the 3 too. Absolutely. Scott gave his teeth for this team, but he needs to put on 30, 40 pounds of muscle. Absolutely. Robbie says he's not my boy, Blue. Well, that's quite unfortunate.
He needs a 8 to 10 foot jumper.
Scott Ruths and Pryor for Jeremy Lucas. Red State says pull out the big man, Allie Jack. Pause. Red said, yeah, it set a nice screen too. Absolutely. So we're caught up with that. Again, changed my mind on Kanai. But let's talk a little bit more about next season. We talked about that. You know what? Let's save that for after the break since we don't have a women's basketball. We don't have Sam here, or actually, I'm sorry. We don't have rapid fire because Higgy did not send us rapid fire. We'll talk a little bit about that after the break. I don't think I should have to say this, but when people tweet out that former players are entering the transfer portal and they tag them, don't respond, oh, we don't want that trash back here at Louisville. JJ Traynor gave his arm, his shoulder. Great kid. Really good basketball player.
Western, right? Is that where he went?
He went to DePaul. Close. He
initially went to Western, didn't he?
No, he went to DePaul.
I think Western was like
Western offered him, but he went to DePaul. Great kid, great family, great people. And here's the thing. Their family watches our Twitter feed. Their family, Coach Brewer, our guy T. Pippen, those are family members of his. And when they see that, they don't like it. And they're not going to push other guys here. And JJ was listen, I'm just going to say this and I want to leave it alone because I don't want to get angry. Anybody that played here under Coach KPTSD, you got it right, should be given a automatic pass because we don't know what they would have done if they were coached the correct way by their head coach. So, but don't talk about former players because then when somebody like a Trey White, which he hadn't done this, says he wants to transfer and I keep that guy. Well, what if he's friends with one of the guys we do want to come here and he's like, well, hey, man, look what they did to me just now. Like, it's not cool. I will unfollow anybody that does that in the tweet that I'm tagged in without explanation, without even a second thought. Let's not do. Let's just not do that. We're gonna go to the commercial break. Yeah, keep it classy. Let's go to the commercial break real quick. We'll be right back. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. Sean, put us on mute so we can talk crap about you. Shout out to all of our fine sponsors, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. It's time. Located behind the El Nepal at 2745 Crittenden Drive. They're set up there all football season for the home game. Shout out to Bill, Garrett, Rhino, Craig, Kevin, Doc, and the crew. Rest in peace, Corrito, for a great time. Hit up the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. For Peg's Beer Lounge, where every week is either Wings Day or the Ribs Day. On Wings Day, $20 all-you-can-eat jumbo smoked wings and $1.25 per wing all day long. On the Ribs Day, come get the best ribs in the Ville for just $25 all you can eat or $2 a bone all day long. Fitness Market. Contact our fine friends at Fitness Market to find out how they can furnish your dream at-home gym. From treadmills to saunas to weights, they have you covered. Planet Fitness. Shout out to Planet Fitness and Rick Cooper for helping us look sharp on the sidelines this summer. Great monthly deals for memberships as well. Check your local listings for a location near you. Cherry Pickin', a hoops-themed cold-pressed juice and smoothie bar inspiring you to take what's good. Conveniently located at 828 East Main Street behind the local seltzery. Tell them CSC sent you for 15% off your total order. Shoot 360, a premier state-of-the-art basketball training facility with highly skilled trainers. Call 515-6556 and sign up today. Great value all around. And if you go to shoot360.com, you can pre-register for a free workout. Come to Shoot 360, the world's most advanced basketball training facility. Rally House. Check out our friends at the Jefferson Mall. Lisa, Dee, Rico, Amanda, and the crew. Tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. They'll make sure you get taken care of really well. Rally House. Our house. Your house. Rally House. Local stuff. Last but not least, our fine friends at Mossy Oak and Hart Properties. If you are in the market to buy or sell farms, land, recreational, or residential areas in the state of Kentucky, let Paul or one of their team of professionals at Mossy Oak and Hart Realty help you out with all your buying and selling needs. Call Paul at 270-537-4422 or email him at pthomas@mossyoakproperties.com. Mossy Oak, we know land. That guy's freaking awesome. Welcome back to the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wyman, here with Joe Wyman, Sean Barber. We're not doing that crap again. And Wes Brocky. Don't do it or you're fired. Never invited back. Never invited back for anything. Red State says there's a reason Cardination says L1C4. Robbie said it's check cleared. Yeet. A non-moving screen at that. Jack Waterman kept getting called. Noah, I think he meant. Babu says, I'm pretty sure men's basketball goes to 15 like women, so bring them all back and add some snipers in the portal. Absolutely. Look, before we get back to the show, we have to absolutely hit the well, first off, our guy Spencer Legg. I got to spend some time with him in Charlotte. What a great time we had. And we made a $100 donation in person to Spencer Stand in Charlotte. And I told him this, and he can attest to this. I said, hold on, my assistant is bringing me something to drink. Assistant, thank you. Make sure. Okay, now you can look. Put your hand up. Pose on the camera. Now get out of the camera shot. Thank you. I said, look, to be honest with you, I work paycheck to paycheck. I got to save up money for the NCAA tournament. Depending on how far we go, I'm going to make another donation after the season. Now, little did we know we weren't going to go very far. And so I've got some money freed up. So here in a couple weeks, we're going to have Spencer come in the studio, do a live read, and then we're going to present him with another donation. So Cardinal Sports Zone podcast members, pony up. I'm not going to be the only one that does it. Make sure you even y'all out there in CSZ Podcast Nation, if y'all want any money to go to Spencer Stand and make it a part of the CSZ donation, let me know, DM me, and we'll get it all figured out. Spencer's a phenomenal human being, and he's a good basketball player. Didn't really get a lot of time to show it this year, but he's a really good ball player. Type 1 diabetes. His journey is on that website. He kind of confirmed but didn't confirm that he's coming back next year. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to take advantage of his 3 NIL tiers. Maybe there'll be more next year. We don't know. But we have to. Let's catch up on the chat really quick. Waterman, Pryor, Hadley next year. I'd love Glenn to come back home. He had a heck of a season at FAU. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Noah has no eligibility. He has Noah eligibility left. Let's go to the hottest segment, Sweeping the Nation, Sean. You know it's all about you all the time. Hold on really quick. Where's the chat? Let's take that off there. Let's just go to it. Sean, take it away, buddy.
No.
That sucks for you, Sean. This has been another Sean.
What's going to happen the first time?
He's going to give somebody a neck hole. I'll promise you that. It's going to be ridiculous. Ridiculous.
If I'm blowing a hip out.
Hey. Let's go over really quickly before we get to the last part of the show. And we seem to do this a lot. First half of the show's really info heavy. The second half of the show, depending on if Higgy and Sam do their job, is a little bit lighter. Only time I'll say that and Higgy in the same sentence. Women's basketball team won it. We watched it. Won a tough game tonight. It was a nail biter. It was, my God, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Every part of their team name is represented on that basketball court. There were a bunch of Huskers out there, and it wasn't. If you're a good old country boy, like me and Joey grew up in half city, half country. We're in the country during the summers, and there's nothing like a country girl.
Good old.
Like even the ugly country girls were beautiful. Like an ugly, a 5 in the country, it'd be about an 8.5, 9. Pause in the city.
Here's the thing, man. If they can cook like they're from the country, 502-291.
He literally gave his number, and I'm cool with it.
I don't care.
And also, if any of our subscribers, really quick before we get into that a little bit more, any of our YouTube subscribers that subscribe to one of our paid tiers, if you all want to call in and say, or anybody that's in the CSD group chat, send us a message in the group chat. We'll shoot you the number, and we will try to take the phone call. We've never done it before, so there might be a little bit of growing, not growing pains, Sean. I know you know about that. And we'll try to take a couple calls too, because we'd really like to hear from you guys. But the women, they did what they had to do. Poor Jada Curry.
She got beat up that last 58.
She got knocked down, but she got up again. Wait a minute, the copyright. Not getting copyright infringement, but man, what a battle, what a win. Another pesky team from Nebraska we had to battle this weekend. We got 1-on-1 versus the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, but
beat the husk out of your core. Wait a minute. Sorry. But
what the shuck?
What the shuck is. Speaking of shuck, man, I really hope we get him. Potential first round. I hope the Steelers pick him up.
Hey, we always pick towards the end of the draft.
What a slinger he is. He is a ball slinger.
I think he's old enough to start first year.
I was going to say, doesn't he reach retirement age next year?
Kids. He's already vested in the league.
Yeah, I remember how his last grandson played here, Jack Plummer. He was.
I just hope he don't go to the Browns, please. No.
It's nobody.
They've already signed like 8 quarterbacks.
I know what I'm hearing.
Listen, we do not the thoughts and comments of Wes Brocky are not reflected by those of us at Cardinal Sports Zone, because we know that the SID for Louisville football is a huge Browns fan, and we would never ever want to aggravate our good friend Rocco.
Everybody has their faults.
The Browns suck. We would never want to make Rocco mad at us. And first game next year, he's like, "Oh, the Browns suck." Well, y'all are shooting pictures from the parking lot, you jackhands. Is that one of? Are we getting a call? Hold on, let me see. Oh, we did get a call. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Will, what's up? Hey, everything's worked. This is the first time in weeks everything's worked.
Chat, can y'all hear Will? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know if y'all can hear Will in the chat. Will, listen, appreciate you being the first caller. You deserve that honor because you've always been very interactive with the website and stuff. So we'll ask you the question we wanted people to call in about. What are some of the things that you admired about this year on the men's basketball side? And then we'll get back to the women's basketball side and wrap that up.
Not Sean.
Awesome, man. Well, we are having some audio issues. Will, we appreciate you testing it out. We can hear you fine. They can't hear you. Sorry, Garrett. I apologize, but Will, thank you for calling, and we'll make sure we get you back in here when it's working better. All right, appreciate you.
No yeet on the
No yeet on the
audio.
phone call, but we heard it. It came through just fine on the. Sean, what did you mess up? Listen, that is can't miss when it's silence and y'all are still tuned in. That means we've got some good going on here. So, Garrett Hoover, the meat man in the building. Appreciate you.
What up, G?
They were saying on the radio earlier that Waterman was eligible to come back. I haven't heard that, and I don't believe that's.
And he played for 5 different schools in his 5 years, right?
Explosion is what Red State is predicting one day. Garrett says, hi, fellas. Can't say it enough. And PK, I trust. Whatever direction a player wants to go, that's their choice. They're kids trying to figure themselves out. Focus and support those that stay. Absolutely. And this is no longer oh, man, I hope these guys stay 4 years. It's, I hope these guys play good enough that they either are okay with making what they made when they got here or they hit the road because it's a business now. And that's one part about it I really hate. I loved getting to know. Yeah, absolutely will. I don't know why it didn't work because we could hear you just fine. It might have been a setting that Sean had. We'll just blame it on him. Happy birthday, Tom Jeffries in the building.
Yeet.
Big old yeet to you.
Yeet.
There you go. It's a team yeet. It's a yeet dime in the building. But okay, back to the women.
Just yeeted all over the place.
Tom definitely just yeeted all over the place. There was an explosion over here in the chair, I'm sure. But women's basketball team, I don't know what more needs to be said. With the win over Nebraska in the first round, they will match up in the Louisville storyline region against Haley Van Pouty Pants in the next round. But at TCU, that's going to be a tough assignment. Does anybody? I know we all hope they win, but does anybody actually see us pulling that off?
It's going to be hard.
So everybody, give me Wes. Don't look, I know you're new to the show. Don't interrupt me again. We're gonna do. I'm just kidding. We're gonna do this with a yeet or a no yeet. Joey, yeet or no? Okay, he's gonna go before I finish. No yeet. Sean, yeet or no yeet?
No yeet.
You've got to do the thing, you slap ass. No yeet. Wes. Oh, he's eating. Make sure before you leave, you wipe that microphone off and spray it, sir.
Yeah, he yeeted. Yeeted all over.
He did. He yeeted everywhere, and it was kind of a weird eat too. I wasn't looking. I didn't want to look at him like straight to the eyes while he was eating. That's kind of weird.
Non-freshman Jada Curry, is not 100% now.
Right.
On the road, in their home court. Yeah, I just don't. Love them. Don't see it.
Joey said cards by 20, so we'll stick with that. We'll hope that's the thing. The biggest news that came out of this weekend, though, back to the men's basketball, and shout out to the men's the baseball team. Some big wins these past few weeks. Came up a little short in the ninth inning. Just took us too long to get the bats going. Hopefully, we could turn this series around down in the Burg of Blacks in Virginia at Virginia Tech.
Sean's home court.
Sean, when we ask what the F is a Hokie, Sean is a Hokie. We're not sure why, but he's a Hokie. But the biggest news coming out of this weekend and some conversations that were kind of overheard, and then it was reported. Now the people in my group chat can confirm and vouch that I told them about this before. It was literally, I think, like 3 or 4 minutes before the story broke nationally. So I was glad that I was able to. But Louisville's budget for recruiting next year is going to be astronomical. It was reported $8 to $10 million. Now, the belief behind that is if a certain player commits to us, we'll have $8 million to spend. If he doesn't, we'll have $10 million. So do the math, which I know some of us aren't good at math. Brockles, but That means this kid's around $2 million, and I think he's worth every. You match him up with Frew, you match him up with Mikael Brown, you match him up with the returning guys. You've got an Elite Eight caliber team without even gelling, I believe. 10 million, and it was reported that Kaysen was the highest paid player on this, and I don't know any of the money figures from this year. I really don't. But Kaysen was the highest paid player, and he didn't even really get to play. Don't know if that carries on till to next season because he didn't play, or if he got paid. Hopefully, he got paid this year.
I'm sure he did.
But what a budget, Sean? What are you looking for now? Before we knew what the monetary value was, what did we say a month ago here on the show? We wanted to get a big chunk of our guys back, go after 2 or 3 high school recruits, which we are, and then get like 3 of the top transfers. Now, if we can, what? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the reported budget for this year $5 million, or was it full?
So. I believe so.
Right around, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And now it's double. We got this for $5 million. Sky's the limit. What kind? I mean, do you think we could? So, what is wrong with you? He's over there.
Yeah.
Mason took over his body and was like,
Are you sure?
Darn
you're not
Neuralink,
drinking
man.
Kickstarter over
We're not
here?
functioning.
Sean is buffering. Oh my God! Garrett said the only yeet Sean gets is nocturnal. Haley should be hitting. I'm not saying that. Red State says Jada was clutch closing out today's game, getting slammed on her shoulder. Oh, about 4 or 5 times.
yeah,
We saw.
she had some tears rolling down the face.
I don't know if she's okay or not, Robbie.
She's going to play.
Oh, Hayden with he really jumped off the ledge here. His opinion, PK is better than KP. I know it's a lot of fans' opinions too. Hey, also, H-Man, I think water is wet. It's dark outside at night, and it stinks after I leave the bathroom. But that's just my opinion. I think he proved why he was in the Assistant Coach Hall of Fame. Yeah, well, yeah, probably. More than double, 8 to 10 million isn't including Michael. That's true. Oh, that's very true. So
that's 8 to 10 million.
Now here's the thing. Will, we don't know that. They did say we were prepared to spend 8 to 10 million, but that could have been including Frew and Michael. I do not know. I don't know that includes or excludes them, but that's a great question, and I'll try to find out. Allie Jack says, how much is $2,500 seats per home game worth? $2,500 times 30. I don't know. No, I don't know. Any comments on the budget, Sean?
That kind of budget, we can get any transfer that we want. And I think we need some sharpshooters because we're going to need somebody to replace.
We got really spoiled with Rain. Rain, and not to interrupt you, but Rain, Chucky, and Terrence were once in a lifetime transfers, and we got them all 3.
It's amazing. It was Terrence. Remember, Terrence was the first one. He's the first one. And right after that, the dominoes started falling. So Terrence deserves some special praise for being the first.
Absolutely. Do you know how many girlfriends you could buy with $10 million? You'd only need to buy one, but probably
here's the thing with $8 to $10 million to spend, and it being public now. Every player in the country is now looking at that. Every player in the country, like even UConn had kids transfer to other schools, hit the portal after winning the national championship. Like there's the big time loyalty is out the door now, right? So it's not just the and this is not a knock, like Terrence Edwards, Chucky Hepburn, stuff like that. You're going to get people that were starters on possible Elite 8 teams, things like that. They're going to be like, I'm going to at least reach out, see how much money I can get, to come there. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
So just to clarify, I'm typing this in the chat right now. The live stream viewers did not hear you, but the people, the thousands
And thousands.
of the CSE Nation fans that listen to this on the audio formats, they will have heard you. It went through the mixer just fine. Just for some reason, didn't transmit to the laptop. So, need some size under the basket, says Garrett.
Allie,
Molly,
whatever.
Three $2,500 donation seats cost around $12,500 last year. Yeah. We'll run right through them next year. Love that, Red State. So here's my next question, because that brings up a great point. Is it a positive that the whole nation knows how much we're spending, or does it give other teams a baseline to be like, hey, guys, we got to at least get $10 million if we're going to compete with Louisville? Does it kind of – could you not have just said that through back channels and let other teams guess? Because that's something that Cal always did to us. We start recruiting players, and we make it well known, and then he started going after him. Could this backfire on us, Sean?
I don't think so, because it's the money's the money, right? I mean,
there's not a lot of schools that are going to be able to pay budget $8 to $10 million. The other thing is the federal ruling in about a month. Like, I think they're going to so the portal opens next week, right?
Yeah.
It opens while the tournament's still going on. We're going to try to probably, as soon as the tournament's over, get who we're going to go after, and get who we're going to get pretty quickly. And I think by the end of April is when the federal courts are supposed to rule on the is it profit sharing? It's similar, like budget sharing.
It's basically so that
revenue
schools can pay the players.
Well, they have to.
Yeah,
they have to. Within 3 years, they have to get up to $10 million a year. So you can do 2, 3, 5. First year 2, second year 3. But within 3 years, you have to be at $10 million. So that's even more money that the players are going to get on top of what you budget in NIL money. So I think that's why they did it. Hey, look at us, come here. So I think it's a good thing they did that.
Wes, do you have an opinion either way?
Yeah, I just think that kind of hit the ground running. And like I said, why wouldn't you want to come to Louisville? I mean, look what these guys did. I'm sure there's guys in the portal that can, come back and, do the same thing that those guys did. And why wouldn't you want to come somewhere where you're going to get a decent amount of money? I mean,
and the support that we can provide is unrivaled. Bamboo says portal opens Monday. Robbie wants to know who do I want to come back? I would take the whole team back if there was a way to get around it. Because you're only going to get better. This team was one of the only teams I've ever seen here at Louisville, other than the 04-05 Final Four team and maybe the title team in 2013 that I can remember. Of course, I'm not as old as Jeff Nunn, but that has improved throughout the season. We've had a lot of teams under Rick Pitino that kind of farted out at the end of the season, then played well in the tournament or got smoked by Cal in the first round of the tournament. But it's just I'd take the hope. But we know for a fact that Terrence Edwards isn't coming back. We know for a fact Chucky Hepburn isn't coming back. We thought until this podcast Noah Waterman wasn't coming back unless he's got some sort of ruling. Sean, is there anybody I'm missing? Now,
Booby.
No, he can come back.
Right? No, Booby and Frank are done.
He went through senior night.
I know Frank is done. I thought Booby had a waiver. Okay, maybe not. Love Booby. And Cater was pretty good too. So we'll see who comes back. And then there's Javon Hadley acted like he was about to start joining Keller Williams after the show, after the game. And yeah, we want here's the thing. Whereas other fan bases in the state, inbreds, want their players to only go pro and apparently get drafted in the top 10 and never play again. We want our guys to be, this feels like an NCAA infomercial. We want our guys to be successful in other things than college basketball. We want them to be successful in life, which we do. So if that's his move, that's his move. But man,
and he did say, he's going to sit down and talk with his family and his friends and his mentors and this, that, and other. So I think there's a strong chance he comes back next year.
Allie Jack says we need to be 10 to 12 deep.
Yes.
Pause. Big pause.
Well, I mean, it could take 2 to 3 times.
Red State said that Traore and Waterman are done. I thought they were.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything, even from Waterman. Like his post game comments wasn't anything about possibly coming back. He was talking about being a small town kid. Never thought he was going to be able to play D1 ball. This was the most fun he ever had playing basketball, and his teammates and this. Not going to, like Hadley did. I'm going to talk to my friends and family and blah blah blah. I don't think Waterman. And he went through senior night as well.
So, in full disclosure, I did not go to Lexington to cover the game. I went there to watch as a fan because I'd done the media stuff the week before. I probably would have tried to apply for tomorrow's game against Auburn if we were there, which we're not. But I wanted to go and watch as a fan, so I didn't take any video or anything. Crunch Zone has a lot of good interviews with the players from afterwards. Go check them out over there. Will says Traore Waterman all participated in senior night. Yes, Javon wants to discuss it with his family and Coach Kelsey. Robbie wants us to be careful. Yeah, we will try not to slide off the road any more than we already are. But, man, everything points to just an exciting – and, look, here's how it is. The last 4 or 5 years, we've wanted the season to go by quick because it was hurtful. Some would even say painful.
Yeah.
And this season, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeet.
What?
Yeet.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down. Calm down. Keep going. But now we're never do that again. But now we're at a time where I don't want this time to go by fast. I don't want next season to hurry up and come.
I'm sad.
I'm going to mourn the loss of this team, get ready for football, and then when next season comes up, appreciate, sit back, smell the roses, enjoy, because this has been, as everybody will tell you, this has been a down year for the ACC. And we've got some great, mostly because of all the coaching legends we've lost from the ACC in the last 8 years or so.
They got Will Wade coming in.
I know, man. But in hindsight, I wouldn't trade Will Wade for Pat Kelsey.
No. I wanted them to take a chance on Will Wade, but I'm glad. And I was just talking about that yesterday. Before Kelsey, got hired, they were going through the list of who, we want this, that, and other. Will Wade was never really an option for U of L. They didn't want to take the chance, and understandably. But I was like, man, I kind of wish they would just, just take a shot in the dark.
Well, he was an option. We just didn't take, as you said, we didn't.
That's what I mean by it.
So really, let's remind people again. Joey's talking about the list. I love to pull the list out. Scott Drew, Dusty May, Chris Beard, Josh Shartz, Rick Pitino Jr., Will Wade, Mick Cronin, Nate Oates, Jerome Tang, Eric Musselman, Sheen Holloway, Shaka Smart, Billy Donovan, Jay Wright, and then Pat Kelsey.
Hey, a lot of those guys are in the tournament.
Some of them aren't. Shout out to Kansas State. Man, that would have been
St. Louis.
That would have been a Tang bat. No, didn't he leave St. Louis?
No. Shirts. He's St. Louis.
Yeah, he's still St. Louis. Yeah.
I thought he left.
No, he left Indiana State to go to St. Louis.
Oh, okay, well, they're the same team, same colors. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they are. Sure.
It makes no difference.
What are they, the Billikens?
St. Louis, man, those daggone Dean, them dang Deaners. There was a Deaner at St. Louis, and there was a Deaner or two at Marquette, too.
Travis Deaner.
Them Deaners, no. But we don't have a rapid fire tonight because Higgy didn't do his job for the week, so we apologize.
Have we talked to Higgy to make sure that
I have.
He didn't have a stroke or something?
The tornado didn't blow him away. He didn't get stuck in the Whataburger drive-thru. Not like his car, but like him physically. Shout out to...
Is he laying on his back and can't roll over like a turtle?
Possibly. But sorry to all the other Louisville sports. Higgy has let you down, and he's let us down because we didn't get to laugh at his spelling this week.
He let his tires down, too.
But we're going to bring you a lot of great segments this summer. We're going to go back to Pronounce This. We're going to get Higgy on here to do some Pronounce This. Eat a Dis will return. Actually, we may do a little bit of Eat a Dis here in a second.
Hey, you know what? Idea.
What?
So for Sean,
What?
like we do Pronounce This for Higgy. For Sean, we should come up with terms.
Explain this. We'll do Explain This. I like it.
Yeah.
I like Explain
What
This.
do you think this is, Sean? Yeah.
Canal.
Well,
we'll explain what a canal is to you at a later date and time. Let's get to the chat line, clear that out, and then we will. Robbie said UK is trash. Preseason ranked, absolutely. According to Jeff Goodman, Wade has not signed a contract. That's something that was interesting too today. He put out a press conference today, or maybe it was last night after the game, where he's like, "I'm committed to McNeese State." It's like, what?
Okay. As he should be right now. He's still coaching the team. I think that's all it is. It's just they even said on TV, like, to see how his players played, knowing their coach is leaving. But they're also probably auditioning for him to go with him to NC State.
That's because the first thing that I heard from people was
get more money at NC State themselves.
That team didn't look like a team that was about to lose their coach yesterday. It looked like a team that was inspired. But like Joey just said, they could have been playing for their collegiate life. Red State said, when I saw PK make Dusty May jump behind a referee to get away from him, I wanted that dog.
No.
Allie Jack said, I watched Charleston play and was fine with the PK hire. Didn't know about beforehand. I never – stop looking at the camera, Sean, or the TV, Sean. Look at the camera. Some people want to see you. It's not many, but some people do. I had no clue about him beforehand. I'm not even going to lie. I do remember him being here for that during COVID for the MTE we had here. I remember seeing him be like, oh, man, he's a young coach. He'll be good somewhere someday. Babu said, VCU coach Odom got the Virginia job today. Still wouldn't mind seeing McNeely hit the portal, though.
Isn't that the guy that beat Virginia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isn't that hilarious? It's almost like they were like a big
played for Baltimore, Maryland County.
BC.
Will said the day before he said he was talking to NC State. Yep. Canal, something Sean has yet to enter. Garrett, this is a family show, but that's exactly what I was saying. I'll be looking for Deshane Woodard in the portal from ECU. Look, guys, I love you all the CSC podcast nation. I love you all. We ain't going after no mid-major players in the portal. We're going to demand the best of the best. This whole and trust me, love Terrence Edwards, loves James Scott, but we're not going to go after the Colonial Player of the Year or the CAABC. No, we're going to go get SEC Player of the Years. We're going to go get Big Ten all defensive first team players like Chucky Hepburn. Yeah. We're going to get 10 Chucky Hepburns this year. We're not going to just get one. He was a crown jewel of that recruiting class.
Yeah. I hate that we only got 1 year with him.
Yeah, well, Terrence Edwards too.
I know, but like Chucky is in my top 5 all time now.
Wes is not even talking into the microphone, but I agree with Wes on that.
Top 5. He's one of my top 5 all time players.
If you all read my recaps from Charlotte, every single one I came up with a new name. Actually, in one story, I had like 8 different variations. I called him Teddy Flamethrower, called him Teddy Ball Game, called him Teddy Jack 'em Up, Teddy 3-pointer. Up, I said. Let's see. Garrett from the top rope on Sean. That's the only time Sean's been hit from the top rope. Listen, really quick, and we'll let you all get y'all's comments in. Please support our photographers at CardinalSportsZone.com. Jeff Nunn, TJ Bart, Justin Kruger, Keith Russell. Nunn still going to put out his photo gallery from the first round upset against Creighton in the Kohler Arena. Sometime tomorrow, probably, I would assume. Sponsorship opportunities, look in the bottom left-hand corner. You can email me at jswallman723@aol.com. We'll get this phone thingy worked out, probably be before the show next week. I'll have to call them on Monday and ask them. At least we got something to work with. Hey, we could hear them on the Mixer, we couldn't hear them on the stream. They'll be able to help me fix that out. Tune into the show Friday nights at 11:05 in our regular slot. We might keep this slot. A lot of you all have been like, keep the slot. We love tuning in late night. We love being your late night delight on Friday night. Yeet. We'll keep it. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer the tube of view. Pause. You can find the audio version on over 100. We should probably start calling this podcast the Pause Podcast because I say that way too much.
No, that would, when we get serious, XM Radio,
No,
that's the pause.
No, it's going to be CSZ Uncensored.
Yeah.
With the C, S, and Z capital.
Hell yeah.
CSZ Uncensored, but with the C, S, and the Z in capital letters. Is there a Z in uncensored? Well, we'll make the S a Z. Right, for sure. You can find the audio podcast version on over 125 avenues in all Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, and iHeart. Hit subscribe, like, heart, plus sign, or whatever it is that Sean does on a Saturday night now. If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy to find. Go to cardinalsportszone.com, the place that I'll begin. Go to the podcast tab, podcast drop-down menu. Select CSC podcast for our newer stuff from the last 6 seasons. Season 7 loading, Sean. When football season comes around, it'll be the 7th year. Blessed to be able to do this, provide you all entertainment. But for the stuff before, so for those of you all that have been rocking with us for the last 13, 14 years, you know we started off on Blog Talk Radio, did a little stuff here and there. We went to 93.9 for about 5-6 years, and then we started this podcast venture once my dad got sick and I couldn't go in every week. Amongst other things, I wasn't able to provide the same amount of time. I was the guy that went out and got the sponsor money. Steve was the guy that profited off me going out and getting all the sponsor money. So I wasn't able to do it anymore, and we started this podcast. But we don't have any of the 93.9 stuff on here because that SoundCloud up there, they had some computer issues a few years ago, and it all got erased. But our stuff before then, is in the archives tab under podcast. The PC, which is post-crash stuff, the last 6 seasons of the podcast is under CSC Podcast. Check out our exclusives on cardinalsportszone.com. Shout out to everybody who's out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate and love you all. Shout out to our guys, Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday from 10 to noon, actually from 10:08 to about 11:52. Monday through Friday on ESPN 93.9 The Ville. Shout out to our guy, Dalton Pence, who is on the Big X now, Monday nights from 6 to 7 with Mondays with DP. He probably should have rethought that title because some people might turn into the Big X
Monday night DP.
To hear about some Monday DP. Shout out to our guys, Mark. It's okay. Mark and Dan at the 502 Circle on Floyd Street Media absolutely killed it this year. And by the sounds of our budget for next year, we're not worthy. We appreciate you guys. Sean, where can these people find you on the social medias?
At Bill Sean at S Barber 06.
Joey?
Joe Wallman 526.
Wes Broccoli?
On Facebook?
No. On Twitter.
He's
like on Facebook, MAGA is the. You can find me at
Tesla rules.
Build the Wall group chat on Facebook. No. So on Twitter, go ahead. On Twitter and Instagram, you're who? Wes.
I don't have it.
Okay, on Twitter.
Wes Brockton.
Wes Brock. I thought you were like Brock Star or something on something. Yeah, you are.
That was on YouTube back in the day.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like Brock Star. I'm at Jeremy_CSC, the website. Below Joey, point below you. No, over to the other side. A little bit more, and stop. That's where you can find the website. On Twitter, and Instagram. A little bit further is where you can find it on the Book of Face. Keep going. And all the way over to the right is where you can find us on the Tube of You. Last words. Let's let the guests go first. Wes, give us your last words for this week's podcast.
I'm sorry.
My last words is I want to thank Pat Kelsey, all the players this year. They revived the Ville. I love their statements they made after the game. The last thing I'll say is support your people and have a great week.
Joey,
that's me.
Joe? No, actually, Sean, you're next.
I was gonna say usually I go last.
You said Joey. That's me.
Well, I was kind of hard because usually I go after everybody because I have my trash.
It is no longer murky season in the Ville until
Yeah, it
the
is.
fall. Until the fall. Well, yeah, you got baseball. You still got the women's basketball.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
right.
You're giving up, bro.
You're right.
Hater.
It's murky season down in Fort Worth. It's murky season in Fort Worth. Other than that, Pat, Kelsey, and Cards, thank you so much for bringing back the passion for
Bringing back some
basketball.
joy back to Sean's
Yes.
life.
Bringing joy, not just to my life, to everybody life that happens to be a Louisville fan, and to bringing some discomfort to those fans down the road.
Whoa.
As I told, so me and one of Coach Kelsey's family members have become kind of cool and stuff. And I told him, so I'm gonna let Joey go last. I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing real quick. That this season meant a whole lot because it's the first time since my dad passed away that we made the tournament, and the first time since years like before that we made the tournament. So we really appreciate everything this did because that's one of the things I remember about my dad the most is that he worked a whole bunch. He come home and worked a lot more, but he made sure we all sat down to watch Louisville basketball and Louisville football together. And this brought me back some of my childhood joy. So that's something that I will never forget and something I'm very appreciative of. Joey, you're back and clean up. Pause. Go ahead.
Maryland's trash, even though they won. Clemson, ugh. Trash.
No, big bag of trash.
Yeah.
Big stinky bag of trash.
And it just is what it is right now. The ACC and basketball, like results in the tournament, been pretty trashy.
Yeah.
2 and 3, right? Yeah, 2 and 3.
Oh, and by the way, really quick, not to interrupt, Joey, if you want a team to lose in the NCAA tournament, let my wife know on Twitter.
Yeah.
She'll cheer for them, and they will go down.
Every single one of them. Holy crap! I went way down in the one bracket.
Listen, we
25-7 and 25-7 in one bracket, and 26-6 in the other.
Are you sure Teresa would root for any of those teams?
Probably all of them.
Teresa's in here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
She got 24 and 8.
It's not bad.
She picked 24 and 8 in the first 32 games.
You get 10 points in the Jonathan Williams group.
Yeah, let's not shout him out.
He picked Louisville to beat Auburn.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he wasn't all stupid.
Well, no, he was kind of stupid.
No, well, listen, I will tell you this really quick before I get off track, which I tend to. I did tell everybody that morning that I felt like we were going to have a tougher game from Creighton than we would from Auburn, and then sure enough.
I still believe that. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm 9th.
Yeah, we're tied.
We're tied for 9th?
I think so. I was first in both of them coming up to the podcast, and I'm 9th and 2nd.
Well, in the world, I'm ranked 5 millionth. So
on one of my brackets, I'm 300,000.
Hey, okay. What's your percentage? You picked what percentage of the games correctly?
Well, let's see. 26 divided by 32, 81%, 81.25%.
Well, I'm 70. Well, we're not tied then because I'm at 79.3%.
Well, in that bracket, I was, what did I say, 25-7, right?
How do you tell?
Because I got 250 points.
Well, so do I.
There was a possible 320.
Well, it says 79.3%. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We're tied. Where was I at? What was I saying?
These are his last words.
No, I interrupted his last words to say something.
R.I.P. George Foreman.
Wait.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Jumping.
George Foreman dead at 76.
It sucks. Look, I'm very proud of this team.
Two-time world champ.
And I'm very proud of this team and program and where it's heading. And not only two-time world champ, but creator of one of the best things ever.
Not necessarily creator.
Well, I mean, he put his name on one of the greatest things ever, George 2 through 5.
5?
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
there's
12 of them.
Is there?
Yeah, it's like George 12.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I
Look-
think even his daughter's names are George.
Oh, that's not true. We're going to work on getting. That's where I was heading to. Shout out to our guy Nolan. Even though they fell today, what a great first season for him. We expect nothing but the best from him going forward. Listen, we're about to hit a dead period, as we like to call it, the DP, the dead period, and. We're gonna have some guests. We're gonna have Asad Ali. You talk about the greatest of all time. We're gonna have Asad in here to do a show with us. We'll have Nolan in. We'll have Larry. We'll get a bunch of people to come in because the summer months we have a lot more. It's a lot less Sports Center during the summer and a lot more. I hate to use this name because I absolutely detest the show, but we're a lot more Pat McAfee during the summer than we are Sports Center like we are during the year. But
huge fan
well,
of the program.
Look, I'm doing the thing that Sean was. I'm doing it with my voice. The thing Sean was doing earlier with his face.
I'm sure it's all on camera.
Sean was over here max headrooming.
Do I need to follow you to your house and make sure you get there okay, buddy?
No, I'm good.
Okay, he's good.
God,
Shout out to our guy Terrence Jennings. He the host of the latest show on the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast Network, Spilling the Ville, where him and moderator Blake McCauley pretty much break down the same stuff. Everybody, I mean, we all do that. We break down all the same stuff, but Terrence Jennings does it from his perspective, which is a player. Which, speaking of that, make sure you're also tuning into the Player's Perspective podcast with Larry O'Bannon. But Blake and TJ have been doing a really good job. Keep up with my weight loss posts on Instagram. I don't put those on Twitter or anything else because I don't want to flood y'all's timeline. Instagram is a little bit more personal to me. So follow me on Instagram at Jeremy_CSZ. Second time in 3 weeks I didn't lose anything, but last week I lost 6 pounds after not losing anything the week before. And this week I didn't lose anything because I was in Charlotte last week for a few days. And then Wes made me order pizza tonight and eat it. So it little bit of discrepancy. Next week, 4 pounds at least. Tell your friends to tell their friends about Cardinal Sports Zone so we can be friends. No Diddy. Let's close out the chat line. I love you guys. I appreciate it. They have to meet PK standards and buy in. Sean is like GTFOH. Red State's laughing. Hey, Sean, are we good? We can breathe freely again. Absolutely. Sean, believe in the ladies. Look in the Sean can't listen, here's the thing. Sean, you just had to laugh hard so you could be heard on the audio feed, Slaps.
I know she's been over jiggling around trying to get an arm in the camera, so one way or the other.
Sean, what she doesn't understand is that I'm only shooting myself from the neck up so she could diddy bop over here and nobody would see her. Sean looked him in the eye. Listen, Sean looked a girl in the eye once here at my house, and it ended up shaking her elbow. So let's not even.
He tried to punch her.
He did try to. He swung. Yeah.
But then he said, "Oh, F it."
He did. That was one of the funniest moments in life. Sean, go ahead and hit that outro music. As our guy Yoda would say, hit that fire outro music. We appreciate you guys. That's way too loud, Sean. Turn it down. Thanks again for all the support. We love you guys. Until next time, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast.
Go Cards!
Teresa's trying to sleep. We'll see y'all.